Mr. Transformers 96 here from the video. I'm going to talk about some newly shown items, and I'm going to talk about the Avengers Endgame Thanos Hot Toys figure. So this is quite exciting. This is one of the two figures that I'm like really looking forward to from Endgame from Hot Toys, and really excited to finally see it. I've just been like waiting for them to show something Endgame. Over like March, they've shown like one Hot Toys figure being Qui-Gon Jinn, and that was like the only figure that they showed during March. So I was just like, come on, we've had nothing so far, and an Endgame comes out in a month, in less than a month. So I've been waiting for Hot Toys figures to start showing some Endgame stuff, and we finally have it today. They didn't just start off with one big one like this; they started off with two. They did do Iron Man's latest armor for Endgame, which is very exciting as well. But the one that I'm definitely more interested in is the Thanos one. I've been looking forward to this one, and really glad to see it. It does not disappoint. It does look quite cool. So let's get into it. So first of all, the face sculpt. I always like to start with the faces. The face sculpts are great. The only thing is I don't think that they're different. I believe that these are the face sculpts that are released for the Infinity War one. Correct me if I'm wrong, but just from taking a look at them, first of all, they're the same expression, and then the detail on them does look to be quite similar. So I do believe that these are the two faces that we already get with Infinity War. The only thing that would hold me to think that maybe that wasn't the case was the helmet. However, it looks like that helmet is removable, that this is just like a separate piece that goes on the head rather than like right here. Here's the proof to that, rather than it being actually sculpted onto the head. So I do think that they're the same head sculpt, which is disappointing in some manner. However, they're really great head sculpts. Like, I don't need a new version of the head sculpt. What I would have liked, though, is for them to do like either the serious one and the pick one of these. So either take the serious or take the mad one, and then give us one extra one that's new expression wise. I would have liked a smirk. That is something that we didn't really get from the Guardians of the Galaxy one. It kind of has one, but not much. So it would have been nice to get a smirk, just so that we'd get a different expression. Because these head sculpts, like the sculpts themselves, are good enough to be released here with Endgame. It's disappointing since we got these head sculpts so recently. And obviously for the same character. Now, what's nice is because they're two totally different ones, that if you did get the Infinity War as well as the Endgame Thanos's, you can have one with the serious expression and then one with the angry one, so they'll just, differ from each other even more, which is quite nice. And if I do pick up this one, I do plan to do that. I'd probably, I don't know which I'd do. I'd probably give the regular one, the unarmored one, just the standard head sculpt, and give this one the angry one, just because he's, more aggressive just in his build. He's ready for war, basically, this one. As far as the rest of the figure, it does look very nice. I do like the armor on it. It looks like it's going to hinder articulation quite a bit in the torso, though, of course. The knees shouldn't be an issue. It should just be I believe it's going to be like a sculpted joint, just from what I've seen. There's not too many wide shots to this figure, but when we get a few wide shots, I'll go into it. But I think that it is a joint there. I don't think it's actually just a joint under cloth. As far as the arms go, both of his arms are rubber, which is disappointing. That was the same with the Infinity War one. However, one thing that I really liked with the Infinity War one is that it came with a separate arm sculpt that wasn't rubber for his left arm. It was just plastic, and it was sculpted with his arm flexed, so that he could have the Infinity Gauntlet up quite high without you having to do the rubber. Just because if you bend the rubber too much, not only does it stress the rubber and could damage the rubber over time, but it also creates a bit of a weird looking fold around the elbow, an unnatural looking fold. So this way kind of it eliminates that, basically. So as you can see, like behind there, it looks like a joint. That doesn't actually look like it's cloth or anything, which means that the knees should be articulated very well. See, as you can see, it looks like it's kind of two separate pieces here. So I'm happy about that. I actually prefer that. It'll be similar to the Guardians of the Galaxy Thanos that was released. But the detail on the armor looks great. I really love all those scratches and all the detail, or the kind of destruction, wear and tear. I like it a lot. I think that it does look really nice, and the scratches and everything is really pronounced, like more so than usual. It's more intense than like on an Iron Man armor or anything like that. So I do think that does look nice. So it is disappointing that he doesn't come with that sculpted arm again, just because I really like the idea of that, and it allows you to be able to have him in a bit of a pose, but without stressing the rubber, because as you can see, it creates create some weird folds, first of all, but the bigger issue, in my opinion, is the fact that it will, wear over time, which is something I definitely don't want, especially at this price point. It's not something that I plan to just enjoy for a few years, but the whole look of the figure just looks great. It looks like it's completely new legs. The torso itself is probably reused, but just with the overlay of this armor on top of it. And same thing with the arms. Like, I think the arms are just reused, but with shoulder pads and bicep pieces put on. And then the gauntlet, I believe, is the same. It doesn't look any different, which is interesting to me, because just story-wise, I don't know how that's going to be the case, because the gauntlet is like really fried at the end of the last one. So who knows? Maybe he rebuilds it, or maybe this is an earlier version of Thanos. Possibly the Thanos that they battle in this movie is the Thanos from the past, because obviously we see him wear this up until the first scene in Avengers, so they might have to fight him before he but again, that doesn't make any sense though, because he wouldn't have the gems. Oh, that's true. So that's interesting. So I don't really understand why he has a totally clean gauntlet unless he just has a spare. I don't know. It's very weird. Or maybe he just uses the gems to fix his gauntlet, but that kind of defeats the purpose of it being fried. Like, why would they choose to make it fried in the first one? It's not like they filmed these so far apart that they didn't know what was going to happen in the second one. I don't know. But that's something that we'll obviously learn from the movie. It's nothing wrong with the figure. He does come with this giant weapon, which is very cool. It's his like little axe sword type of thing, like double-ended sword. It looks really cool. I love all the detailing. It looks awesome. The way that he holds it is really nice. We've seen concept art with him for this with this weapon for the longest time, and so it'll be very cool to actually see it in a film. And now going over just what you get with this guy compared to the last one specifically, and what the price is going to be on it. We don't have a firm price on it yet, because this is these were shown on a Friday night, for Saturday, especially so close to the morning of Saturday. This most likely will not go on pre-order today, and I'm filming this on Saturday, but it'll go on pre-order on Monday. So we'll have to wait a while to get the price. However, it might be on pre-order in other countries. I did see somebody on Instagram who had a pre-order price for this guy, and all of his prices were a bit discounted under what Sideshow's charging. Excuse me. So I compared how much he was selling the last Thanos for with this Thanos, and the price difference was about $10, but it would be a little bit extra just because it's more of a percentage difference. So that would make this one, the last Thanos was $376. That would put this guy at about $390, I believe. Like, if the percentages were accurate, and if his prices were accurate, that would mean that when this guy goes on pre-order, he's going to be about $390, which I think is a pretty fair price. My worry was that because he was armored, they were just going to charge over $400 for this guy, which I find a little ridiculous, because if you actually look at what he comes with, he doesn't come with a whole lot more than the last one. They both come with 2 head sculpts, so they're even there. Now, this guy's armor, because he's armored, he looks just more like you're getting more, but you're really not getting more with him. It's armor versus whatever they sculpted on it before. It's less cloth and more plastic. I don't know which one is more difficult for them to make, but it's just a different material. Like, it's not extra material, it's just a different material. So because of that, I don't think they should charge like a ton more for it or anything. Now, as far as accessory wise, what's different is that you do get a few more hands with this guy. You basically get 2 extra hands, and it's for holding the weapon, so you get holding weapon hands, so you get that extra with this guy. You also get his weapon. That is an extra piece. Now, what you get extra with the last one is the left arm. You get a totally new left arm with the last one that also has a light up feature in it, so that's a big extra piece. I think that piece is more valuable than the weapon that you get with this one. As well as far as their bases go, you get a smaller base with this one. The last one you get a larger base, as well as you get a backdrop with the last one. No backdrop with this one. So overall, like, as far as what you get, you get a little bit more detail here just because the armor is more detailed than the cloth is. But as far as like just the actual stuff that you get a little bit more, just a tiny bit more with the last one, because I consider the extra arm that lights up a more valuable accessory than I do the weapon here, because that's just a plastic weapon, and the arm is a little bit more intricate, and it has a lot more detail on the gauntlet, paint wise at least, and then it has light up capabilities as well. So I feel like that's a bigger accessory than the weapon is here. So you do get slightly more with the old one actually, but the details a little bit better on this one costume wise. So I would have liked this to be actually just right on par with the last one. It would be nice if it was 376 as well. I think that that would be quite fair. I'm hoping that this one is not over $400. The 390 where it's like a little bit extra is okay in my opinion, because who knows, you could make an argument that the armor is a lot more detail on their part, maybe, so I could see them making that argument and pricing this guy a little bit more, but I definitely don't want this guy to be 400 or over 400. Now, if I plan to get it or not, because I have the Guardians of the Galaxy Thanos already, and I have the Infinity War one on pre-order. I'm hoping it ships like any day. Like I because it came out in Hong Kong so long ago, I expected it to be out in the U.S. in March, but unfortunately it's scheduled for April. So hopefully in a couple weeks before the movie comes out, I want to have my Thanos. Let me tell you, but nonetheless, I'm getting that one. So whether I plan to get this one or not, I actually do plan to get this one. This is the version of Thanos that it's more visually interesting. It matches the comics a bit more. He looks more aggressive. It's just a cooler look in general. And I'm a massive Marvel fan. I have every Marvel villain that they've made, and I have an entire display case, and not just a Detolf cabinet. Like, I mean a big display case dedicated to my Marvel villains. I have the same amount of space dedicated to my villains than I do my heroes for Marvel. So I want this just so that I can like almost complete my Thanos collection. And this is just such a cool version. And again, I'm glad that they don't just have two head sculpts, that are like the same or the same expression. We do get actually two different head sculpts expression wise, and therefore my two Thanoses will look very different in their emotion for sure, and not even to mention that the costumes are entirely different. So overall, I do plan to get this one. I'm very excited for it, and again, I hope it's under $400. Now I am very much looking forward to Captain America. He's the next one that I'm really looking forward to for Endgame as far as Hot Toys go. But yeah, there's my video talking about the Hot Toys Thanos from Endgame. Let me know what you guys think of them, and thanks so much for watching.